Three college friends, Emily, Mia, and Zoe, decided to spend the weekend at Blackthorn Manor, a sprawling and centuries-old mansion that belonged to Mia's eccentric uncle. He had left for a week-long trip, and the girls saw it as the perfect opportunity to have a spooky-themed sleepover. Nestled deep within the woods, the mansion had a history of unsettling legends. Most notably, it was said to be haunted by a vengeful groundskeeper who had been buried alive in the estate's old cemetery years ago. As night fell, the girls sat in front of the dim fireplace, the wind howling outside, sharing ghost stories. Emily mentioned the tale of the groundskeeper, who had been mistakenly buried in a shallow grave near the east wing of the property. According to local lore, people who walked by the grave at night could hear scratching sounds from beneath the earth, as if the man was still trying to claw his way out. Zoe laughed at the story, rolling her eyes. "It's just an old ghost tale," she scoffed. "There's no way that could be true." Mia, grinning mischievously, challenged Zoe. "If you're so confident, why don't you prove it? Go to the grave, take this old iron spike, and drive it into the ground. Bring it back as proof." Zoe accepted the dare with a smirk, brushing off her nerves. She grabbed the iron spike and a hammer, pulling on her coat before heading out into the eerie moonlit grounds. The night grew colder and quieter. Mia and Emily sat by the fire, waiting for Zoe to return. They giggled at first, amused by the thought of their friend wandering through the graveyard. But as time passed and the fire dimmed, their laughter faded into uneasy silence. Hours went by, and Zoe still hadn't returned. A heavy sense of dread began to settle over the manor. At dawn, unable to bear the suspense any longer, Mia and Emily set out to find Zoe. They headed toward the East Wing Cemetery, their breath visible in the cold morning air. As they approached the groundskeeper's grave, they froze in horror. There, lying motionless atop the grave, was Zoe. Her face was pale, her eyes wide open in terror. Clutched tightly in her hand was the iron spike. She had driven it into the ground, but her coat had caught on it. In her panic, she had thought that the dead groundskeeper had grabbed her, and the terror had overtaken her heart. It was said that in that moment, Zoe's spirit joined the restless souls of Blackthorn Manor, forever haunted by the fear that had claimed her life.